Y'all ever get in a fight, like growing up and stuff in the house and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, we would argue, and I remember telling my mom when I turn 18, I'm moving out. It's not gonna close. I just told myself I'm not going to close. I'm trying to say this without sounding.
Can't do nothing without you, no.
What's up, my God Talk people, man? How y'all feeling, man? I hope y'all feeling good. Today, man, we here with another episode 9. You hear me? Episode 9. And today we're here with a special guest. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Lily Jimenez, and I own the Yum Bakery.
Yes, ma'am. And we're here today, and you know, like I always say, man, we're gonna dive straight into it. So if you don't mind telling me and telling them, how was your living arrangement and how was things growing up for you?
Growing up, or living arrangement, my parents have always been together. I think they're going on like 58 years.
Wow.
So that's something that I can look up to, you know. We were a family of 7, 5 sisters, or 5 girls, and then my parents, of course. So I didn't have any brothers. It was, I think, I'm number 3, number 4.
Okay.
So the youngest is under me. So I mean, I had a good childhood. You know, I can't even remember my parents arguing maybe one time. Like,
okay.
I can really say, like, they fought like one time.
Wow.
So either they did a good job of hiding it from us, or they just, they just lived, they just did pretty good. But, it was just a happy Hispanic household there. They came straight from Mexico. My 3 oldest sisters were born in Mexico, and then me and my little sister, we were born in the U.S.
Wow.
I don't know. Childhood was pretty good. I didn't have any brothers, so I think that's why I kind of just toughened myself up,
right.
So there was nobody to back me up, nobody to, to defend me.
Right.
So I guess I kind of grew my thick skin on my own.
Wow. And growing up with, I mean, it's all girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all ever get in a fight, like growing up and stuff in the house and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, we would argue and like never fist fight.
Okay.
But we would, have disagreements like siblings do.
Okay.
But nothing crazy,
What about like were there any like financial issues or any struggles from your parents coming from Mexico?
I would say, I mean, we weren't rich.
Right.
We weren't, we still, like, we ate. We had enough to eat. My parents, my mom worked. I remember her working up until I was like maybe in the 4th grade. And then she stopped working. And then my dad, he worked in construction, and he worked, I don't know how many years, but he was my dad is the hardest worker.
Wow.
And so he took care of us. Like, I mean, I do remember, like, for Christmas, we would all get like one gift, we had to share. It wasn't, we didn't have a lot of money, but we were happy,
That's great.
And like my mom, because they came from Mexico, they were so afraid, because back then, I mean, if you weren't American, you didn't have like the benefits you get now,
right.
Like, my mom, we didn't have food stamps. So it was just whatever my dad made,
Wow.
So, I mean, we got by.
That's great. So it was a lot of love.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's great. I like that. Okay, now stemming from that story and stuff like that. So now when you started to grow up and just started to realize more things and stuff like that, what's all the things you was getting into? Like, what's all the things you was getting to when you started to be a young adult?
Um, like from 18 and
Yeah,
up?
you can start from 18 to like
Okay.
like 25. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think, well, I graduated when I was 18 because my birthday's in August. So it was like, I didn't turn 18 till like school was over. So I think I graduated at like 17. So I was already with my husband at the time. So I remember telling my mom when I turn 18, I'm moving out.
Right.
And so I was just ready. I was ready to just, do everything on my own. So I had a job, and we got an apartment, and we lived there for a while, and then we saved up money and we bought our house, and so we had a house by the time we were 21.
So wait, but not to interrupt you.
Mhm.
So y'all got an apartment and everything at 18, or well,
Yeah.
when you were 17 or whatever, or
Yeah.
you had been?
No, right when I turned 18, like I left that day. Like I think I left. Yeah.
Was you waiting to leave when
I
you was 18?
waiting. Yeah, I think because we were just like, oh, we want to live together. Just
Right.
when you're young, like when you're young, I'm sure everybody that has their boyfriend or girlfriend,
Right.
they want to, they always want to be together.
Yeah.
So we were ready to move in together. So we moved in together, and then saved up for our little down payment on our house, and I remember we sold my car, and whatever money we got off of that helped our down payment, and we bought our house, and then we lived there for like a year, and then I mean, I don't know, back then, like I guess when you're young, I don't know, I did, like my way of thinking was just like so much smaller. Like I didn't really have such ambition to do like, oh, I want to travel before I have kids, or I want to have this, $2,000 purse before I have kids. I didn't care. Like we wanted to have a kid because we were like, oh, we're bored, you know? Like we just felt like we had enough to like have kids.
Right.
So we had my daughter when I was 21. And then my son came along 5 years later.
Right.
And then, from there, I mean, just life just, happened, and here we are.
Right. And being okay now, speaking from a young woman being in a relationship at a young age,
Mm-hmm.
was there any like miscommunication or any fights because y'all so young and y'all got your own spot together at a young age,
I mean, yeah, we would fight like normal couples do.
Right.
But we never had anything like real crazy,
Mm-hmm.
I remember we had I don't even know why we fought, but we lived at the Regal Manor Apartments back then. It was like the nicest apartment complex in town. And I remember we did get in a fight, and I don't know how the cops came, and they made him go home, and I stayed there.
Right.
After he's already left, or he had to go to his mom's, and after he's gone, we call each other, and we're like, well, can you come back? But we couldn't. We were so afraid that the cops were watching, so we would get in trouble. But nothing major.
Okay. And the reason I dove into that because it's a lot of young women out here and young girls, that just feel like they're rushing it. And did you ever feel like it was a sense of rush when you just hurry up and got your apartment and everything?
Yeah.
Was you like rushing, like, or was it like a preparement?
I don't know. I guess I don't feel like I was rushing. I'm trying to remember, but I just don't feel like. I guess once after we were like settled like we had a, we had a vehicle, we had a home. We could afford to, go wherever we wanted, do whatever we wanted. Like before Camry came along, I mean, we would just blow money, like whatever. We didn't have, our extra money. We would just blow it. So I think we were just like, okay, we were good. So I don't think we were rushing it. I can't think of that right now.
Right. Now I feel that,
Yeah.
man. That's great, man. That's real great. Okay, now kind of prolonging the relationship, you being still a young woman, but you more grown up or whatever stuff like that. When did you? And I know you spoke about your mind wasn't just all the way open.
Yeah.
So when did you know you needed to change that and
like grow?
Like grow,
Yeah.
like grow and wanted to create your own business, to create something for yourself.
Okay, so at that time, I worked for Walmart, and like I moved up like the ladder pretty quick because I don't like to just sit in one place.
Right.
I like to move up the ladder. So I remember I started out as like I was just sales associate. And then by the time we did have my daughter, I was like department manager or something, which we made pretty good money.
We're just at Walmart,
yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah, it's when it was over here.
Okay.
It's where Hobby Lobby is now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't even remember the year. Well, it was like in the 90s. No, 2000, 2001-ish maybe.
Okay.
Anyway, I did that for a while, and then I wanted to move up to the next position, which the next position would mean I'd have to move like from Hobbs.
Right.
And I didn't want to do that because my husband was working. We weren't married yet, but he was working. He had a stable job, so we weren't in a position where I can move. I didn't want to either yet. And so, we went from there to, I went from that department to a different department, and I still made the same kind of money. And then I still wanted to move up. By then, Walmart had moved over there to the new location.
Right.
And then I still wanted to move up, so I moved divisions. And back then, you could be a manager for a different division.
Yeah.
And make a lot more money and just still be part of the store, but it was kind of like a store within a store. And so I did that. Money was like really good bonuses. And then I would have stayed there until the company restructured, got rid of my position, and just threw me into the assistant manager position in the store. And that meant working overnights, and overnights was not my thing, especially having little kids. Like my kids were small at the time, and it was like a 10 to 7 position, and I just dreaded going to work at 10 p.m. Dreaded it. So then I was like, you know what, this is not for me. I just ended up leaving, and then at that time I was just like, I'll find whatever I get, because I didn't go to college. I just went straight to work after school. Like I just felt like college wasn't for me.
Right.
So I had found a dental assisting job, and I loved that. I loved that job. Like I would still do it today, but it doesn't pay much.
Right.
So I was doing that for a while. I was doing that for a while, and then I found another position to like run the shoe department. Like they needed a general manager, and I was like, okay, like I'll do that. And so I applied, and they interviewed me, and I got the job, and it was like a lot more money. So I took that, and I hated the management. They're the worst company to work for. Like, I don't care. I'll tell anybody. But like, really, like, my associates couldn't wear jackets if it was cold in there. Like, we couldn't even use trash bags for the bathroom liners. We couldn't buy trash bags.
Right.
They were so cheap. And the district manager didn't like me. She said I was too young to be in that position. At that time, I was like 30 years old. I hated it. They had good bonuses though. But anyway, I ended up just like, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm quitting. So I quit.
Right.
Went back to the dentist. I think I did. Yeah. Went back to the dentist. And then I started like making birthday cakes for my kids and like family. And, you know, back then, like, I would sell a half sheet for like $35. It's crazy.
I mean, what is that?
It's like a half a sheet cake like that. I mean, now you can buy it. I mean, I think the store probably sells it for that, but I mean, I'll sell a half sheet for like $100.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, that was really cheap back then.
Right.
I was just teaching myself, and it was fun. But I would make more money in a weekend than I would make for 2 weeks, you know, where I was working. So I was like, okay.
Of
just selling birthday cakes, yeah. Like, I was making, like, literally would make my whole paycheck like in a day or two at home. And so I had told my husband, I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna, this is what I want to do, like, because I'm very artistic, like, I like that, and I can use my, you know, my artistic skills for that.
Right.
And so I left that job, and before I left that job, I rented this little place where we're at now.
Yeah.
And I rented it for a whole year without moving in because I was afraid of not being successful. Yeah. And so my husband would be like, you need to move in there. You're just paying rent. It's just like a storage. Like, everything was in here. Like, the stoves, the fridge, everything was in here, but I wouldn't work out of it. I still worked out of my house. And one day, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to move in there. Like, I'll move in and see what happens. I was just afraid of, I guess I was afraid of people not accepting me. And now, if I could have told my younger self, which this was in like 2013, because I started making everything that I do in 2008 at home.
Right.
But if I could have told myself back then, like, just do it, you know, I would have.
Right.
Because, you know, I mean, not everyone's going to love you, and that's okay.
Right.
But, you know, you have to stumble a few times to succeed, and nothing's ever going to be perfect. So, anyway, that's how I got here.
And wait, I gotta.
I probably left out some things.
No, you're good. I gotta barge in right here. So,
yeah.
When you decided to quit, you know, we was at the dental job.
Uh-huh.
When you decided to quit that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know you had talked to your husband about it, right?
Yeah.
And he was okay with working his job while you didn't have one, but you creating a business.
Yeah.
That's great right there.
I think because he believed in me.
Right.
And like, I just always have these crazy ideas, and he's just like, okay, you know, I mean, I just, if I have an idea, it's gonna happen. Right. That's just how I think. Like, I won't fail, especially if somebody tells me I'm gonna fail. Watch me.
Yeah.
You know, that's just my mindset.
I like that, man. That's good because, you know, shout out to your husband too, because a lot of people, a lot of relationships fail like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of men that want their women to work and not their women just to sit at home. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it'll be vice versa and stuff like that. When somebody's trying to create something that's going to be mind blowing to others, you know? So I just I acknowledge that, and that's great. Mm-hmm. That's real great. And But no, go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to stop you, but go
Okay,
ahead.
no,
Keep
it's
going.
okay.
Keep going.
I don't know where do I keep going?
You was at like the up and downs and stuff like that
Yeah.
with as you having a business in.
Yeah. I mean, it's not always going to be great. Like
Right.
like still today, I'll have a $3 day one day, and the next day I'll have a $3,000 day.
Right.
Like you just have to, you can't give up.
Right.
You just can't give up. But I feel like the worst time was 2020, like COVID. During COVID, we tried everything, and I tried everything, but I was not going to close. I just told myself I'm not going to close no matter what. And we tried all kinds of things. We put the drive-through window in, we bought ice cream, and like we're doing good. So
Wow. That's
you
great.
just have to think outside the box. There's like tons of cake bakers in town,
Yeah.
There's always going to be somebody that's doing the same thing as you, but you have to think outside the box,
That's right.
And there's always going to be a customer for you. So
Right. And you know what's so great about that? Because like this the teachings I got. It says you can't compete with vision.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, like you said, everybody may be doing the same thing you is,
Mhm.
but the vision is totally different.
Yeah.
Your vision is different than other cake bakers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Even though y'all might be doing the same thing, so it's like I kind of tell people like, why would I be competing with somebody that may be doing the same thing as me when me and his vision is totally different.
Yeah.
So
and you can't view them as competition.
Right.
You're just all doing the same thing,
That's right.
Yeah.
I like that. And what I was about to say, yes, was there any like family members or people around you that be like, you need to, nah, that ain't gonna work? Or any friends that you had that was like, nah, I don't know about that?
I don't think so. No, not that I can think of. Honestly, I'm trying to think, but no.
So was yourself telling you that? Like, did you ever have thoughts of yourself saying like?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you can get on Facebook and read the 411 and, oh, don't go to this restaurant because of this and this, and don't go here because the food is bad. Like it scares you. It scares you.
Oh, okay.
If they do it, like, oh shoot, what if that's me? But you just can't. You're not going to be for everyone, and you just know that you, in your heart, you're doing your best. That's all you need.
That's right. Right. I like that.
And correct where you know that it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I'm not always perfect, but I do have if I make a mistake, I try my best to make it right with my customers. And I feel like I have a relationship with them where they don't go to the 411. They're going to send me a message, or they're going to come in here, and I'm like, okay, like I'll fix it right away. Like, I'll give the money back, I'll remake or something, but I will always try to make them happy.
Right.
I don't have the pride to say, oh, well, that wasn't my fault. Go somewhere else, because if it's a customer I want to keep, I'll fix it. There's probably been like one or two that I'm like, okay, bye, because I knew it wasn't my fault.
Right.
They're just being ugly. But for the most part, you just take care of them.
I like that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Stemming again from that great story right there.
Okay.
Talk about all of the great things that you are doing now and all the great things that you have now.
So we have some exciting things happening. I haven't really shared it with a lot of people because I don't like to really. I kind of keep it all to myself until it's time to, like, hey, we're open, hey. So we're expanding. It's gonna be great. The town will love it. And so I'm hoping to be expanded and complete by the end of the year.
Mm.
It's a lot of work. We have the little trailer now. We got that last year in June, but it wasn't ready till September.
Right.
So we can take that around and pop up anywhere we want to. It's fun. It's a lot of work, like hitching up and all that, but my son does a good job helping me. But we have that. I don't know it, and we'll see what happens after our expansion's done. Then maybe we'll do something else.
Right. So you got buildings and a trailer.
Yeah, the little cupcake trailer. I don't know. It's like a mobile bakery.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Wow. That's great. And that's great. And like I was saying though, by you having all of this and all of this great things, and I will probably show y'all after this, I'll probably show y'all, but does any of this come with like enviness or anything like that, like hate or something like that?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I try not to pay attention.
Right.
I try not to focus on it. I don't know. I just kind of do me. You know. I wouldn't say hate or like envy.
Right.
But I just like sometimes like if you, and I'm trying to say this without sounding like ugly about it, but there's a lot of like ideas you'll come up with that are like original, you know, and then somebody takes it, you know, and sometimes it's aggravating because I'll spend, especially during COVID, I was just like drilling my brain at night, like, what do I do? How do I do this? What can I always wanted to make something different that would be like, because you always want something different, because you always want to keep people coming in your door. You know?
Right.
They're not always, if you're going to have the same old boring stuff, they're going to get tired of it. So, I mean, that's probably one of the only things that can get like annoying, you know, is you almost don't want to let your idea out because it's going to get snatched up like that, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, like, that's okay. But like you said, you know, you can make something, but only you have the recipe to the sauce, you know?
Right.
So that's probably it. You know?
Man, that's great, man. And having all this that you have, how long did it take you to get everything? And I know you're still going.
Yeah.
But like everything that you have now, how long did you think it took? I mean, how long did it take?
Well, we've been so I was at home. I started at home in 2008. And then that's when I like named the business. And then in 2013, we were a, you know, brick and mortar. So I don't know, what is that like? Here I think is like 14 years. So it would be like 19 years, you know, that we're
all together.
All together.
Wow. And did you ever see yourself having all of this?
I think eventually, like after working for different people, I knew that I didn't want to work for anybody.
Right.
I wanted to work for myself. And that's the same thing I tell my son. Like, I always tell him, like, you need to work for yourself because you don't need to make anybody rich. you
That's
know?
Right.
And I'm not saying you have to be rich, but like, I'm not rich, but I love doing what I do. I'm happy.
Right. Well, and that's great because a lot of parents don't tell their kids that.
Yeah.
You know, they tell them straight, go get a job.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
Well, I want him to have a job, but I want him to work for himself.
Right. So you kind of want him to have a job right now until he created everything. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's great. And y'all, I really hope y'all got empowered by this story. You know, especially anybody, young women or whether it be young men too, that want to start their own business and want to be an entrepreneur and stuff like that. Because as y'all can't see everything, but she got a lot going on. You see what I'm saying? And it's great to see, and it empowered me, you know. But yeah, man, this is great. Is there anything that you want to say to any young entrepreneur out there that want to create something to start their own business or anything in that nature?
If you can't stop thinking about it, you gotta do it.
That's great. That's good right there.
If you wake up every day and you think about it, like, do it. Nobody's stopping you. You are the only one in your way. You got to do it.
Wow. Yes, act on it fast. Act on it fast. And man, I hope y'all really like this, man. So if you watching this, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification button. And if you're around anybody, make sure to tell a friend that can tell a friend that can tell a friend that can tell a cousin that can tell a sister that can tell a brother. And make sure you share it to everybody. So I don't care if it be your grandma, your grandpa, your dog, your cat. It don't matter what it is. Share it to anybody. You know what I'm saying? And like I always say, if you're watching this, I dropped it. I love you, but Jesus love you more. For sure.
Can't do nothing without you.